It's important for people to understand, first and foremost, how insecure this system is. We have over 600,000 mail-in ballots that have been counted. Those are votes that are official in our system. We also know that we have unclean rolls. Ballots that have been mailed to dead people, to people that moved out of the state, and many other people that got a dozen ballots in their homes, etc. And what the situation we have here is that 200,000 of those votes have been verified by a machine only. And we've spoken to AI and computer vision experts on this, and they have told us that the registrar reduced the signature verification standard to 40%. And they have said
so let me interrupt you
take,
just for a second so people understand what you're talking about. It's a machine that reads a signature on an absentee or a mail-in ballot. And you're saying the claim is that people who control those machines turn them down to a lower setting so they would more readily accept a signature even if it wasn't a perfect match. Is that the allegation?
Oh, well, that's not even an allegation. That is admitted in open court. Nobody's denying that. Okay. They still think that it's a reliable system. And we've now been speaking to these experts, and they say that once you remove the factory setting, it takes months and months of a massive team of experts to get this back to a reliable standard. The other thing that came out in court was that this machine requires a 200 DPI setting to match the signature on the envelope and the signature on the voter file. We know from court as well that the photos in the Nevada system are well below this 200. Those two things combined cast grave doubt on the 200,000 signatures that were verified. And again, no human being went back and double-checked these. Those ended up just counting, and we also have the next 400+ thousand votes that we have never looked at. And when I say that, people can't believe that.
Well, let me ask you, okay, so I know that you've made the argument in court, which has not been accepted, that the law actually in Nevada says that humans should be checking those signatures and that this isn't a job that machines should be doing. But you're not claiming that any of those votes, that you know who they were for, whether they were for Biden or Trump or anybody else. You're just saying that the controls are not being followed according to what you say is state law there in Nevada.
Yeah, look, it says employee or clerk. We believe that humans should have to look at it. But just throw that aside. The fact of the matter is, we have not been able to look at these signatures. When people think of a regular election, that you can actually challenge voters, you can actually be part of the system. They created this new mail-in system where 600+ thousand votes have had no scrutiny whatsoever. And so we are concerned that we have no idea. When I tell people that I'm sure there's bad signature matches, meaning there is fraud that snuck through the system, I don't know if that's 1,000 bad signatures or if it's 100,000 bad signatures, but we can all agree that there's no way those two signatures, setting aside that all 600,000 are a perfect match.
Okay, but very quickly, because we got to go, do you have specific allegations? You mentioned people receiving dozens of ballots, dead people. Do you have specific sworn allegations that people are willing to say that under oath?
So the Attorney General has been attacking me for a week without evidence, and he tweeted today that now we don't have, there's not evidence of widespread voter fraud. So they've backed off the fact that there's zero voter fraud. Now they're saying we haven't produced enough. We're outside of the system. This is a needle in a haystack type situation. We've produced dead voters. We've also produced over 3,000 people that moved out of Las Vegas this year and still voted in this election. There are many more voters than in our system. And I try to explain to people, we don't get to just call them and they're not going to work with us and verify something. Right. We have to verify it independently. Same for the news media, by the way. It is hard to pin this stuff down.
That's why we want to see, that's why we want to see the sworn allegations, and I have seen quite a few, and we're tracking those down as well. I know some of the people who moved out of state will say they're military and that legally they can do those votes, but I know there's a lot you've not been able to witness. So we're going to track.
That was less than 100.
Okay. Yeah. We're going to track your cases, so please keep us up to date because we just want people to have answers and transparency. I think regardless of party.
Absolutely.
People should want that. Adam Laxalt,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Thank you.